Hello everyone, so I will be doing my July wrap-up for the month of July. I read 4 books, so let's get started. The first book I read was The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. This is the first book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. This is a middle grade fantasy novel. This follows Percy Jackson, who finds out that he is half-blood, which means he is half-god. He's taken to the Half-Blood camp, where he is claimed as the son of Poseidon. When Zeus's lightning bolt is stolen, Percy is the prime suspect, and so Percy is enlisted to go on a quest with his friends to find Zeus's lightning bolt and return it to Zeus before a big war is started. I gave this a 4-star rating. I liked it, however there's one thing I did not like, which is so silly, was because of his age. I thought it was pretty unrealistic that he's 12 years old and he goes on these big quests, which is silly because it's about Poseidon and all these things which aren't really realistic anyway. But when he's traveling to Las Vegas and doing all these things, it just kept in my mind that he's 12 years old, which I just couldn't take serious. This is a middle grade series, so it is kind of for a younger audience, and I know I probably would have loved this when I was younger, but it is still pretty good, and I recommend it. The second book I read was Howl's Moving Castle by Diane Wynne Jones. This is a young adult fantasy novel about Sophie, who works in her family's hat shop, and one day the Witch of the Waste comes in and turns Sophie into this old woman. And part of the curse is that she's not allowed to tell anybody that she has been cursed. So Sophie decides to just run away from home. And while traveling, she comes across Howl's Moving Castle, and Howl's this wizard. Howl has this reputation of taking young girls' hearts and souls and killing them. And since Sophie is now old, she says that he won't want her anyway, so she goes into the castle for shelter. In the castle, she meets Calcifer, who is a fire demon who lives in the fireplace, and he sees that she is cursed, and so they come to an agreement that she will help him break the contract between him and Howl, and Calcifer will help try to break the curse for Sophie. I gave this a 4-star rating. I thought it was really cute, and I just loved the fantasy aspect of like the moving castle and the witch and Howl being a wizard. I really liked the character Sophie. When she was much younger, she was very shy and she did what she was told. She didn't take any risks. But when she was turned old, she didn't care about anything. She said what she wanted. She took many risks, and I really liked that about her. It makes you kind of think that maybe you shouldn't wait till you're older to start doing things that you want. Just because you are young, you might be embarrassed or too afraid to do these things, but those are the times you should do it. My favorite character had to be Calcifer, though. I watched the movie of Howl's Moving Castle, and I loved it, and it just made me love Calcifer even more. The movie and the book are very different, but I really enjoyed both, so I do recommend the movie and the book. The only character that I had a problem with was Howl, because he's just a big man baby, and he cares way too much about his looks, and he just is a player. He makes women fall in love with him, like he pursues women so much, and finally when they give in or fall in love with him, that's when he gets bored and runs away. So he likes to chase. There is romance in the novel, but it doesn't come into the end, and it isn't the main focus, so I really liked that, because most of the time it takes over, but it didn't, and so I appreciate that. The third book I read was Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. This is a horror humor type book about a fictional furniture store like IKEA, and all these strange things happen, like furniture moving or vandalism, and so the manager enlists 2 other co-workers to stay overnight to see who's doing this, to see what's going on. So at first they just thought it was some squatter, but then they find out something more sinister. I gave this a 3-star rating. It had so much potential. It had things like it was built on an asylum with a doctor who did crazy experiments on the patients, and so now they're haunting the place, and it's just had all these great potential to be a great story. but it just fell flat. There were some good points to it, but overall, it just wasn't great. The ending made it so that everything was just about to start all over again, like there was no point. Which is really disappointing because I did like his other novel, My Best Friend's Exorcism. So if you want to check out his novel, I would recommend this one over Horrorstör. The last book I read in July was Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. This is a fantasy novel about two sisters, Gillian and Sally Owens. For like 200 years, the Owens have been blamed for everything in this small town because they are known witches. And so they are very afraid of them, and they were always teased and bullied and just isolated from everyone. And Gillian and Sally just wanted to get out of this town. Sally did this by getting married and having 2 children. Gillian did this by just running away. Gillian says she never wants to come back. However, when something tragic happens, she's forced to come back and seek help from her sister Sally. So I was disappointed in this novel because I loved the movie and I thought it was going to be like the movie. So this is one of those rare moments when I feel the movie is better than the book. The book has so much more witchcraft aspect than the book. The book deals more with their personal life, which is fine. I just wish it had more magic, but it's still a good novel. I gave it a 3-star rating. I think I probably would have liked it more if I hadn't watched the movie and loved the movie so much. So those are all the books I read in the month of July. So like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!